Silence is often misunderstood in a world that values noise. Many believe that when you stay quiet after disrespect, you're conceding defeat, bowing your head in shame, or showing weakness. But nothing could be further from the truth. Choosing silence in the face of disrespect is one of the most powerful actions you can take. It's not about running from conflict or avoiding the problem. It's about demonstrating a strength that is rooted in self-control, wisdom, and maturity. Silence is not the absence of power, it is its greatest proof. When someone disrespects you, their goal is often to provoke a reaction. They want to shake your foundation, to see you flinch, to pull you into their chaos. They feed off the energy of confrontation. But when you remain quiet, you starve their intentions. You take the bait out of their trap. You show them and the world that your strength is not dictated by their actions or words, but by the depth of your character. Silence in these moments is not a sign of submission, it's a testament to your mastery over your own emotions. Think about the self-discipline it takes to hold your tongue when every fiber of your being wants to lash out. It's easy to react, it's easy to let anger take over, to shout back, or to try to prove a point. But true strength lies in restraint. It lies in the ability to pause, to take a breath, and to decide whether the situation even deserves your attention. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes strength is in the stillness. It's in the decision to protect your peace rather than give someone the satisfaction of dragging you into their storm. Silence doesn't mean you don't feel the sting of disrespect. It doesn't mean you're unaffected. On the contrary, it takes incredible strength to feel the weight of someone's words or actions and still choose not to respond. That choice sends a clear message: you will not allow someone else to dictate how you behave. You are in control of yourself. You are bigger than the insult, stronger than the slight, and wiser than the person trying to pull you down. Choosing silence also sets a powerful example. When others see you refuse to engage with disrespect, they see a person who knows their worth. They see someone who doesn't need to fight every battle because they understand not every stand, not every battle is worth their time. Your silence speaks volumes. It says, I know who I am, and I don't need to defend myself against your negativity. This kind of confidence can't be faked. It comes from within, from a place of self-assuredness and inner peace. And when people witness that kind of strength, it inspires respect even from those who initially disrespected you. But silence is not just about what others see, it's about what happens within you. When you choose silence, you give yourself the gift of time. Time to process what happened. Time to decide how you want to respond, if you even want to respond at all. Time to consider whether the person who disrespected you even deserves your energy. This pause, this moment of quiet reflection, is where clarity lives. It's where you gain perspective. And often you'll find that what felt so pressing in the heat of the moment isn't worth a second thought once you've cooled down. Silence doesn't mean you're suppressing your feelings or avoiding confrontation forever. It means you're choosing to respond on your own terms, in your own time. It means you're prioritizing your peace over the chaos of conflict. It means you're deciding that your energy is too precious to waste on things that don't serve your growth. And in that choice, there is immense power. Now, understand this silence doesn't make the disrespect okay. It doesn't mean you accept or condone what was done or said. But not every insult requires a rebuttal. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Some battles are won simply by refusing to engage. Silence is a tool, a shield, a strategy. It's not about letting the other person win, it's about choosing a victory that doesn't require you to lose yourself in the process. The strength in silence is not passive, it's active, it's intentional. It's deliberate. It's standing firm in the knowledge that you are greater than the momentary discomfort of being disrespected. It's choosing to walk in integrity, to hold your head high, and to let your actions, not your words, speak for you. Because at the end of the day, how you respond to disrespect says more about you than it does about the person who disrespected you. So the next time you feel the sting of disrespect, resist the urge to react. Resist the temptation to defend yourself or retaliate. Instead, take a breath, stand in your strength. Let your silence speak louder than any words ever could. And remember, true power isn't about shouting over the noise, it's about being unshaken by it. When disrespect comes your way, it's natural to feel an urge to react instantly. Anger rises, your heart pounds, and words seem to rush to your tongue, ready to defend your honor. But understand this, not every moment calls for a response, and not every battle is worth fighting. Reacting immediately to disrespect is often the very thing that escalates the situation, dragging you into a storm you never needed to enter. There is wisdom in restraint, and there is power in patience. Disrespect is like a spark. It can ignite a flame if it finds the right kindling, but it can also burn itself out when met with calm. When you react immediately, it's like throwing fuel onto that spark. The situation grows hotter, messier, and harder to control. Disrespect thrives on attention. It wants a reaction. It craves validation. When you snap back, you're giving the one who disrespected you exactly what they wanted: your energy, your time, and your peace. But when you take a moment to pause, to breathe, and to assess, something extraordinary happens. You gain clarity. You step out of the heat of the moment and into a place where you can see the situation for what it really is. Is the disrespect worth your attention? Is this person trying to provoke you, or are they acting out of their own pain and frustration? These are questions that only a calm mind can answer. When you react without thinking, you rob yourself of the opportunity to make a choice. You hand over your power to the one who disrespected you. Think about the times when you've reacted out of anger or frustration. Did it ever truly solve the problem? Or did it make things worse, leaving you feeling drained, regretful, or even ashamed of the things you said in the heat of the moment? Reacting immediately often means speaking before thinking, and words spoken in anger can be sharp, cutting, and difficult to take back. They can damage relationships, hurt feelings, and create scars that take years to heal. Choosing not to react immediately is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. It's saying, I value my peace more than this conflict. I value my energy more than this argument. When you refuse to react on impulse, you're taking control of the situation instead of letting the situation control you. You're stepping into a place of strength where you can decide how to respond or whether to respond at all. This pause, this moment of reflection, is where growth happens. It's where you learn to master your emotions instead of letting them master you. Anger is a natural emotion, but it's not meant to be your guide. It's a signal, a warning light telling you that something needs your attention. But just because the light comes on doesn't mean you slam on the gas. You slow down, you assess, you decide your next move with intention and purpose. Sometimes the best response to disrespect is no response at all. Silence can be more powerful than any words you could ever say. It shows that you're not controlled by the opinions of others, that you're not so easily provoked, that your strength lies in your ability to rise above the situation. Silence says, I hear you, but I'm not giving you the satisfaction of my reaction. It's a statement of self-respect, of confidence, and of unwavering inner peace. But there will be moments when a response is necessary. Even then, the pause is critical. It allows you to respond with grace instead of anger, with clarity instead of confusion. It gives you time to choose words that build bridges instead of tearing them down, that assert your boundaries without escalating the conflict. A well-thought-out response carries far more weight than a knee-jerk reaction ever could. Understand that the person who disrespects you is often acting out of their own pain, insecurities, or frustrations. Hurt people. Their disrespect says more about them than it does about you. When you react immediately, You're allowing their pain to become your pain, their anger to become your anger. But when you pause, you create a boundary. You say, your actions are yours and they don't define me or dictate my behavior. This is not about letting people walk over you. It's not about avoiding confrontation or ignoring the disrespect. It's about choosing a response that aligns with your values and protects your peace. It's about recognizing that your energy is precious and shouldn't be wasted on things that don't serve your growth. In life, there will always be people who test your patience, who challenge your character, who try to pull you into their chaos. But their actions don't have to define your reactions. You have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to rise above. So the next time disrespect comes your way, take a breath, pause. Remember that your strength lies in your ability to think before you act, to respond with wisdom instead of anger, and to protect your peace above all else. Let your reaction or lack thereof be a reflection of who you are, not who they are. Because at the end of the day, your character is not measured by the actions of others, but by how you choose to respond. And in that choice lies your greatest power. When faced with disrespect, one of the most challenging yet liberating things you can do is to walk away. Not because you're weak, not because you're afraid, but because you understand the value of your peace. Walking away isn't an act of surrender, it's an act of power. It's the recognition that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every conflict deserves your attention. In walking away, you declare to the world and to yourself, I will not let this moment define me. I will not let someone else's negativity dictate my actions. Walking away requires strength. It takes courage to leave a situation where your pride might tempt you to stay and argue, to prove a point, to defend your honor. But consider this, what do you gain by staying in the midst of disrespect? More often than not, all you achieve is a deeper wound, a heavier burden, and a greater loss of your peace. Engaging with disrespect often leads to escalation, and the more you engage, the more you entangle yourself in a situation that drains your energy and robs you of your focus. Walking away is not about avoidance, it's about choosing your priorities, it's about deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Your energy is precious, your time is valuable. Every moment you spend in conflict is a moment you could be using to build, to grow, to pursue your purpose. When you walk away, you're saying, my life is too important to be sidetracked by that kind of focus. That kind of self-respect is the foundation of true power. But walking away isn't just about the other person, it's about you. It's about protecting your peace, your dignity, your sense of self. Disrespect has a way of pulling you into a storm, of making you feel small, of tempting you to act in ways that don't align with who you are. Walking away is your way of saying, I refuse to let this moment change me. I refuse to let someone else's actions dictate my behavior. It's a boundary, a line in the sand that says this is where your negativity ends and my peace begins. Sometimes walking away feels like the harder choice. It can feel like you're letting the other person win, like you're giving up ground. But remember, this winning isn't about proving a point. It's about protecting your values, your energy, your integrity. Walking away doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're wise. It means you understand that some battles aren't worth fighting and some victories aren't worth the cost. Walking away also says a powerful message. It says, without words, I am not controlled by you. I am not swayed by your negativity. I am stronger than this moment. That kind of quiet strength is more impactful than any argument you could ever have. It shows that you're confident enough in who you are to not need to engage. It shows that you value your peace more than your pride. And it shows that you're in control not of the other person, but of yourself. There's freedom in walking away. Freedom from the stress of conflict, freedom from the weight of anger, freedom from the chains of someone else's negativity. When you walk away, you release yourself from the burden of trying to fix a situation that may not be fixable, from the pressure to change someone who may not be ready to change. You let go of what you can't control and focus on what you can, your own actions, your own choices, your own peace. Walking away is not about silence, it's about speaking with your actions. It's about showing through your choice that you value yourself enough to leave a situation that doesn't serve you. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion, that your dignity isn't determined by someone else's behavior. Walking away is an affirmation of your own value, a statement of your own strength. But let's be honest, walking away isn't easy. It requires humility to let go of the need to be right. It requires self-control to resist the urge to retaliate. It requires wisdom to see the bigger picture, to understand that your future is more important than this moment. Walking away is an act of faith, faith in yourself, faith in your purpose, faith that you don't need to win every battle to succeed in the war. And when you walk away, you're not walking away empty-handed. You're walking away with your peace, your dignity, your focus intact. You're walking away with the strength to face another day, to pursue your goals, to live your life on your own terms. You're walking away with the knowledge that you chose yourself, that you prioritized your values over someone else's negativity. So the next time disrespect comes your way, remember that walking away is not a defeat, it's a victory. It's a declaration of your strength, a statement of your worth, a choice to protect your peace. Walking away is not about running from the storm. It's about choosing to rise above it. It's about understanding that your life is too precious, your purpose too important, your peace too valuable to waste on anything less than what truly matters. And in that choice, you'll find a strength and a freedom that no one can take away. When you encounter disrespect, it's natural to want to react, to defend yourself, or to make the other person feel the sting they've inflicted on you. But there's a different kind of power that lies in choosing to focus on growth instead of retaliation. Disrespect doesn't have to define you. It doesn't have to determine how you see yourself or shape the trajectory of your life. Instead, it can be a catalyst, an opportunity to rise, to learn, and to transform. Growth is not something that happens in comfort. It often emerges from adversity, from moments that challenge us, stretch us, and force us to confront what we're made of. Disrespect, as painful as it may be, can serve as one of those moments. It pushes you to evaluate your boundaries, your values, and your sense of self-worth. It's a mirror reflecting areas of your life where you may need to grow stronger, more confident, or more resilient. When someone disrespects you, they're often projecting their own pain, insecurities, or frustrations onto you. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward growth. It helps you see that their actions are not a measure of your worth, but a reflection of their struggles. By separating their behavior from your identity, you free yourself from the weight of their negativity. You begin to understand that their words or actions don't define you, you define you. This shift in perspective allows you to focus on what truly matters, your own development. Instead of reacting to their disrespect, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this moment to become stronger, wiser, and more grounded in who I am? Growth doesn't come from dwelling on the disrespect, it comes from rising above it. It comes from using the pain as fuel to propel you forward, not as an anchor to hold you back. Focusing on growth also means examining your own responses. Disrespect can trigger anger, frustration, and hurt, but how you handle those emotions is what defines your character. Do you let them control you, or do you channel them into something positive? Growth requires self-awareness. It demands that you take an honest look at how you react and make a conscious effort to improve. It's about choosing to respond with grace, dignity, and strength, even when the situation tries to pull you into chaos. Every time you choose growth over retaliation, you're building something greater within yourself. You're cultivating resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger from adversity. You're developing emotional intelligence, the skill to manage your emotions and navigate difficult situations with wisdom. And you're reinforcing your sense of self-worth, the unshakable knowledge that you are valuable regardless of how others treat you. Growth isn't just about moving past the disrespect, it's about transforming because of it. It's about taking the pain and turning it into purpose. It's about letting the challenges refine you like gold in the fire. Disrespect, when met with a mindset of growth, becomes an opportunity to expand your capacity for patience, to deepen your understanding of others, and to strengthen your resolve to live authentically and boldly. There's also a ripple effect of focusing on growth. When you choose to rise above disrespect, you set an example for others. You show them what it means to walk in strength, to prioritize peace over conflict, to value growth over vengeance. Your actions become a testimony to the power of resilience and the beauty of transformation. You inspire others to look beyond their pain and embrace the opportunities for growth in their own lives. But focusing on growth doesn't mean ignoring the disrespect or pretending it didn't happen. It means addressing it in a way that aligns with your values and your vision for your life. It means setting boundaries that protect your peace without compromising your integrity. It means speaking up when necessary, but always from a place of strength and wisdom, not anger or desperation. Growth is a journey, not a destination. It's a continual process of learning, adapting, and evolving. Every moment of disrespect, every challenge, every setback is an opportunity to grow if you're willing to see it that way. It's not about being perfect, it's about being committed to the process of becoming better, stronger, and more grounded in who you are. When you focus on growth, you take control of your narrative. You decide that disrespect will not define you, that it will not derail your progress or diminish your light. You choose to rise above, to learn, to transform. And in doing so, you discover a strength within yourself that no amount of negativity can shake. Growth is not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one. It's a path that leads to freedom from the opinions of others, freedom from the chains of anger and bitterness, freedom to live fully and authentically. When you focus on growth, you're not just overcoming disrespect, you're stepping into your power. You're becoming the person you were meant to be. So let the disrespect fuel your determination. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it remind you of your strength and your worth. And then use it as a stepping stone to climb higher, to reach further, to grow into the fullness of who you are. Because the greatest response to disrespect isn't retaliation, it's transformation. And when you choose growth, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. When someone disrespects you, it feels personal. It feels targeted. It feels like a challenge, like they're daring you to react. But understand this, reacting immediately doesn't always put you in control. It often does the opposite. When you respond in anger, frustration, or defensiveness, you shift the power away from yourself and place it firmly in their hands. But when you choose silence, when you decide not to engage, you turn the tables. You shift the power dynamics in a way that says you may speak, but you don't dictate how I respond. Disrespect is often a test. It's an attempt to pull you into someone else's storm. They might want to see you rattled, to provoke you into losing your composure. But when you stay calm, when you don't react, you show them that you're unshaken. You show them that their words, their actions, their negativity have no hold over you. And in that moment, the balance of power changes. They expected you to react, but instead they're met with a strength they didn't anticipate, a strength rooted in self-control. Silence is not just about the absence of words, it's about the presence of confidence. It says, without saying a word, I know who I am, I know worth. And I refuse to lower myself to your level. That kind of unshakable confidence is intimidating to those who thrive on disrespect. It forces them to confront the reality that their attempts to belittle or provoke you have fallen flat. And in that realization, they often lose the power they thought they had over you. But here's the thing, staying quiet isn't about ignoring what happened. It's not about pretending the disrespect didn't occur or letting someone off the hook. It's about choosing your battles wisely. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every slight requires a defense. When you engage with disrespect, you risk amplifying it. You risk giving it more attention and energy than it deserves. But when you stay silent, you deprive it of oxygen. You let it wither and die on its own. In that silence, you maintain control not just of the situation, but of yourself. You keep your emotions in check, your dignity intact, and your energy focused on what truly matters. And that kind of self-control is a rare and powerful thing. It takes strength to resist the urge to clap back, to prove a point, to show the other person they're wrong. But when you do, you show them and the world that your power isn't in your words, but in your ability to rise above. Think about the alternative. When you react to disrespect, you're stepping into their world, playing by their rules. You're letting their negativity dictate your behavior. And in doing so, you give them the satisfaction of knowing they've affected you. But when you choose silence, you stay in your own world on your own terms. You show them that their actions don't control you, that your strength comes from within, not from how others treat you. This is not to say that silence is always the answer. There will be times when speaking up is necessary, when addressing the disrespect is the right thing to do. But even in those moments, the pause matters. That space between their action and your response is where your power lies. It's where you decide not to react out of anger or hurt, but to respond with intention and clarity. It's where you choose words that carry weight, not heat. There's another layer to this. When you stay silent, you often force the other person to reflect on their actions. Without your reaction to focus on, they're left to sit with their own behavior. They may not admit it right away, but in the quiet, they're confronted with themselves. And that confrontation can be far more impactful than anything you could say. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their actions back to them, making them question why they said or did what they did. Staying quiet doesn't mean you're avoiding the issue. It means you're handling it on your terms. It means you're choosing to protect your peace and prioritize your energy. It means you're recognizing that not every situation deserves your time, your attention, or your words. And in that recognition, there is power. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause. Resist the urge to react. Instead, let your silence speak for you. Let it say, I am in control. I am unbothered. I am stronger than this moment. Because the truth is, power isn't always loud. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. And in that quiet, you reclaim your power. You remind yourself and everyone around you that your strength isn't dependent on others. It comes from within. And when you walk in that strength, there is nothing and no one that can shake you. When disrespect strikes, it can feel like a dagger, sharp, sudden, and cutting straight to the heart. The instinct is often to react, to defend, to fight back. But before you do anything, there is wisdom in taking a step back and turning inward. Silence in those moments isn't about avoidance, it's about creating space for reflection. It's about pausing long enough to ask yourself what really happened here. What does this mean for me and how should I respond? Disrespect is not always about you. Sometimes it comes from a place of pain within the other person. Hurt people hurt people hurt people. They lash out not because of who you are, but because of what they're going through. Reflection allows you to separate their actions from your identity. It gives you a chance to see beyond the surface of the words or actions and understand the bigger picture. Without reflection, you risk letting someone else's brokenness become your burden. But when you pause, you reclaim your power by choosing how to interpret and respond to their behavior. In that quiet space of reflection, you can ask yourself, is this about me or is this about them? Is this disrespect rooted in their frustration, insecurity, or struggles, or is there something in my own actions that might have contributed to this moment? These questions aren't about blaming yourself or excusing their behavior, they're about gaining clarity. Reflection isn't about letting them off the hook, it's about freeing yourself from their chaos. When you take time to reflect, you step out of the emotional whirlwind and into a place of peace. You give yourself the gift of perspective. What feels like a personal attack in the heat of the moment might look very different when viewed through the lens of calm reflection. Sometimes you'll realize the disrespect wasn't intentional. Sometimes you'll see that it was about their issues, not yours. And sometimes you'll recognize that the situation doesn't even deserve your energy. Reflection helps you sort through what matters and what doesn't. But reflection isn't just about understanding others, it's also about understanding yourself. Disrespect has a way of triggering deep-seated emotions, anger, hurt, insecurity. Those feelings are valid, but they don't have to control you. When you reflect, you create space to process those emotions without being consumed by them. You allow yourself to feel without reacting impulsively. You give yourself time to heal, to grow, and to respond from a place of strength rather than weakness. This process of self-reflection is not easy. It takes courage to look inward, to examine your own heart, to confront your own pain. It's much easier to point fingers, to place blame, to lash out. But true strength lies in the ability to pause and ask yourself hard questions. What does this moment teach me about myself? Why did their words or actions affect me so deeply? What can I learn from this experience? These questions aren't always comfortable, but they're necessary for growth. Reflection also helps you decide what kind of person you want to be. Do you want to be someone who reacts impulsively to every slight, every insult, every moment of disrespect? Or do you want to be someone who rises above, who chooses their battles wisely, who responds with grace and wisely, who responds with grace and honor? In the quiet of reflection, you can align your actions with your values. You can choose to respond in a way that reflects the best version of yourself, not the worst version of them. There's another gift that reflection offers that protects your peace. Disrespect can be draining. It can pull you into a cycle of anger, frustration, and regret. But when you reflect, you take control of your energy. You decide where to invest your time, your thoughts, your emotions. You learn to let go of what doesn't serve you. You learn to walk away from battles that aren't worth fighting. And in doing so, you preserve your peace, your joy, your focus. Reflection doesn't mean you ignore the disrespect. It doesn't mean you avoid confrontation forever. It means you take the time to understand what's really happening before you respond. It means you choose to act intentionally, not impulsively. It means you prioritize your own growth and well-being over the fleeting satisfaction of retaliation. So the next time someone disrespects you, don't rush to react. Instead, pause, reflect. Give yourself the gift of time to understand the situation, to process your emotions, to decide how to move forward. Remember, reflection is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's a declaration that you value your peace, your energy, your growth too much to waste it on things that don't matter. In the quiet of reflection, you'll find clarity. You'll find wisdom. You'll find strength. And when you do respond, if you choose to respond, it will come from a place of power, not pain. It will be a response that reflects the best of who you are, not the worst of what they did. That is the power of reflection. That is the strength of staying quiet long enough to listen to your own heart.